Guys, this is just for your consent that I have started recording of this session, and this will be shared with each one of you. And we are going to follow the same practice that every session will be recorded, and I'll be sharing with these recordings as a material with you. And I'll request you to please keep a notepad handy while you are attending these sessions. Why it is so? If there is a particular component which you need to write down, so you can do it for yourself, because if I prepare notes and then I share it with you, so everyone has a different style to make a notes, right? So that's why I'll suggest to have your own notes. Wherever you have a question, please ask immediately, right then, right away. Do not wait that someone is going to ask you for any question. So, okay, guys, as all you know, that today we are here for this DevOps session, right? Most of people are trying to become DevOps. So I have a question to every one of you. Guys, what is DevOps and why it is so popular? What is DevOps and why it is so popular? Why there is a buzz about DevOps? Anyone can answer this.
Sir, DevOps is a combination of development and operation team.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Okay, so actually, sir, I have read somewhere that it involves some best practices which we follow, which helps in faster delivery of software.
Okay. Great.
DevOps is generally being used for technology development.
Guys, please mute yourself if you are not speaking. That will help. Yes, buddy. Nagesh, you were saying something.
DevOps is a methodology. Sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
DevOps is a methodology where we can deploy our different type of tools, like different type of tools. So
okay. So guys, okay, let us begin with this. So guys, let me tell you one thing first of all. When we talk about DevOps, so DevOps is basically responsible for doing automation and doing deployment kind of activities, right? When we call a particular activity which is known as deployment, guys, please mute yourself if you are not speaking. That will help. Yes, thank you. Okay. So first of all, when we talk about deployment, so there are two major things which we need to understand. First of all, there is a particular term known as waterfall, right? Then second word here is, I'll tell you what it is, do not worry. Second word here is known as agile, right? So we need to understand these two terms first of all. Guys, these two words are known as SDLC. Now, what is this SDLC? This is known as Software Development Life Cycle. This is known as Software Development Life Cycle. Vrinder, can you please mute yourself? Okay. So this is known as Software Development Life Cycle. So what does it mean? For example, there is a particular team, like there are different teams in an organization. First of all, there is a particular team which is known as business. I'll give a couple of names here in order to understand it better. First of all, we have business team. Business team means the particular guys who are responsible to bring new ideas into organization. That is known as business team. Some people call it product as well. Product team, right? So these guys are responsible to bring new ideas into organization. And based on that, the company start doing interaction with different organization, with different people, and the particular product which is meant to be sold in market, or the particular application which is supposed to be shared inside market in order to do business, right? So these two teams are known as business or product team. These guys are least bothered about the technology. like company is going to follow. They do not worry, they do not bother about whether the product should be written in WordPress, in Magento, in Angular, in React, Node, Java, Go, like Python, any sort of. They do not bother about it. What do they want here is that if they have any idea and that idea should be implemented. So this particular team is basically known as business or product team, right? Now, when the idea is finalized, now how soon they want, like how soon can their idea be implemented? So the implementation phase is known as SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. For example, business team has given an idea, now the particular engineering team. So engineering team will get involved with product team, and now there will be a particular session like this is what we want. Engineering team will raise their concern related to like what do you want, what are the particular flow of this particular entire new development going to be, where its dependency going to be, are we going to consume existing data from the existing database, or are we planning to generate new database? So each and every sort of discussion takes place between business and engineering team. Now there will be a particular, let us say requirement is clear. Engineering team agrees that okay, we are ready to build new product. Now there will be a particular like group of people that is known as solution architect. There will be a group of people which is known as solution architect. For example, business team says that we want to have a like integration with some other company in order to fetch data from their platform or in order to share our data to them. This has to happen over a very secure channel, which is known as VPN. Let me explain. VPN means virtual private network. Data will be shared over internet, but on a private tunnel. No other one would have access to that particular data. That is known as VPN. So these sort of things will be designed by solution architect team, right? Then after there will be a group of people which are known as developers. So developers are going to write the code. Developers can select their own tool or technology set, like they can write their code in Java, in Go, React, Node. So even developers are of different type, front end, back end, full stack, right? Then after when we talk about this particular component, developers, so once the particular code is written, code is developed, after that there will be one another team involved here. That team will be known as QA team. The team known as QA, or you can call them testers. Testers can perform the activity either manual or in automated manner, right? So these engineers are known as testers, or you can call that quality assurance engineers. Then after there will be a particular team which is known as TechOps, or you can call that operations team. So now operations means there are two operations. First of all, there will be one operation team. So this particular team is known as business operation, and this operation team will be known as technical operation. These are from business side, like what ideas should get implemented, they will take care of that, and how these ideas are implemented and what all tools are being used in order to support them. Let us say there is a particular web service working in production environment. If that goes down, then how these guys are going to bring that up. There is a particular use case. Let us say one service has started printing a lot of logs. So how they are going to manage that, whether the particular log rotation policy is implemented there or not, they will be responsible for it. One service is stopped suddenly because of, let us say it is because of high load on server, lack of RAM, or you can call that memory. These sort of issues are there on the server. So these guys are responsible to bring the service back to operation, right? So this particular team is known as operation team. But guys, when we were talking about SDLC, then why we are discussing about these? So guys, the particular style, the methodology, the working style this plays a vital role in order to have success for any organization. For example, right now we are working with a particular organization where a waterfall model is working. So what happens in waterfall, let me tell you, there will be a requirement which will be explained by business team, right? That will be accepted by engineering team, engineering manager, engineering heads, maybe product lead, product head, that sort of positions are going to be there. So engineering team will start working on that. Solution architect will design solution, developer will start doing development. So doing all the activities, let us say it took 3 months. Now the market, because the market is really dynamic these days, so the market requirement has changed. So waterfall says once the requirement is gathered, the particular solution is finalized, developers will start working on it. Once their product is ready, they will deliver it to business. So it took almost 3 months in order to do a development. And after 3 months, when developer reaches to engineering manager responds back to product team, or you can call that business team, they say that now this is not the requirement. We need to have some modification within this. Once again, there will be new requirement gathering, and the same flow will keep on going. It may take like multiple months, it may take in order to deliver a single product. Why it is so? Because we are working with waterfall. Business team had some thoughts in order to convert it into any business idea. Engineering team did development and hand it over back to business team. So the interaction between business and engineering team is really less, is really low, is really poor, right guys? So that is why there is a gap, and this gap is known as waterfall model. Once the product is ready, then business team will review it. So this is the very first style of software development lifecycle, which is known as waterfall. Second one here is known as agile. So for example, developer like business team says that the particular login page should be modified. Let us say we are talking about any organization, maybe Flipkart, Amazon, maybe any organization you can think of. Business team says that we want to change the login page of our application. So what do they want to change? So when we are talking about this agile methodology, so when we are working with agile, so it means whatever developers are doing, let us say, guys, can you please remove this? That will help. Okay. So when we are talking about this agile methodology, so guys, developer will do development, and as soon as any piece of work is ready for them, right, they will immediately showcase the particular change to business team. That is known as agile methodology. Moreover, business team is quite up to date. They are updated every single point in time, like why and what they are going to see the changes. Are the changes looking good? If yes, they will give a go ahead. If not, then definitely they will say, okay, no, we need to have like further modification within this. Maybe the login font is not looking good. Maybe the particular color combination which developer has selected, so that is not looking good, right? So these sort of components are there. Right, guys? Are we clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Gopal Krishna, can you please remove these sort of like arrows from here? That will help. Otherwise, I'll have to disable it. Okay, so now when we are talking about agile methodology, guys, so there are a couple of other teams. So first of all, rather than calling it operations team, so there are 3 different teams which are very well known as of today. So these teams are known as, first of all, TechOps. Second team here is known as SRE, and the final team here is known as DevOps. So guys, these 3 teams are really popular as of today. Now, what does it take to become a TechOps engineer? What does it take to become SRE? What does it take to become DevOps? So these sort of components, guys, definitely we are going to discuss it today. So, okay. So guys, when we are discussing about these components, like we are discussing about TechOps team, we are discussing about SRE and DevOps engineer. So these are just the ways, these are just the methodologies to manage things in real-time environment, in real production environment. So first of all, when you would think to become a DevOps engineer, what does it require? It requires Linux operating system, like one of any operating system, and most of the popular operating system here today is Linux operating system. The flavor could be any, maybe it could be Red Hat, it could be CentOS, it could be Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, Mandriva, SUSE, Knoppix, anyone it could be. So the very first thing here is, in order to become DevOps, what do you want? You need to have basic understanding of Linux operating system, because whatever softwares you are going to work with, these softwares are going to be deployed on the top of Linux operating system. And why do most of companies prefer to work with Linux operating system? Because it is free, no licensing cost. In order to run an operating system, there is no licensing cost. Second thing, the particular softwares which we use on the top of Linux, so these are also free, right? Companies do not want to pay a lot to operating service provider, but they would like to pay to their administrators. Now, second thing here is, every single engineer who is planning to work as TechOps, SRE or DevOps, they should be aware of network. Now, what does it mean network? So I do not mean to say that a person should be expert in order to configure switches, routers, to have a particular setup of HA inside switches and routers. No, I do not mean to say, but the basic concept should be clear, like what is IP address, what class of IP address it is, what are the different class of IP addresses, how many different series are there, like IPv4, IPv6. If we talk about IPv4, a person should be aware of like what is public IP address, what is private IP address. That sort of information a person should definitely have in order to become a DevOps engineer. Okay, then a person should be aware of, like, most of time interviewers may ask, okay, like how many IP addresses are assigned to a single machine, how many IP addresses can you assign to a single machine. That sort of information should be there, right? Then after, when Linux is clear, network part is clear, now we need to have understanding of any cloud environment. Cloud, or you can call that CSP, cloud service provider, right? That is known as CSP, cloud service provider. In our case, we are going to discuss about AWS, Amazon Web Services. We are definitely going to discuss about. Now, guys, when Linux part is clear, network part is clear, and we are aware of AWS, like one of the cloud environment as well. So we need to have understanding about DevOps tool as well. And what are the DevOps tool which we are going to discuss here? So guys, these are different rules. And before jumping into DevOps tool, I would like to explain, like, when we are discussing about these components, so why and what is required and what is the difference between TechOps, SRE and DevOps engineers. So guys, TechOps team is only responsible to support the production environment. They are least bothered about lower environments. Now, these lower environments could be your different environments are there. We will discuss about it. Like it could be your UAT environment, SIT, performance testing environment. It could be your SIT environment. Different environments could be there. We are going to discuss it right away after this particular discussion, right? So TechOps team is majorly responsible for taking care of production application. The applications which are deployed into production environment, TechOps team will be responsible for that. These guys are not a lot into automation. These guys can do, if they are doing, no one can stop them while they are doing automation. But yes, the major focus here is on supporting application, whether that is manual or whether that is with automation tool. But they are not a lot of bothered about doing automation. Now, SRE. So guys, SRE is a term which is originated from the side of Google. So initially they started this sort of concept that a particular person who is working as TechOps, they should be responsible for managing automation part as well. Now there are two things, doing at automation and managing automation. So SRE team, let us say there is some different developers, there is a group of developers who have automated to, or who have developed automation tool. Right now, SRE team will be responsible to use those tools. For example, there is a database where different queries are executed. So rather than logging into that database every time, DevOps might have developed a particular interface where database IP can be selected. And after selecting that database IP address, that particular person or that particular team can easily paste their queries and execute it from a web interface, right? So DevOps team will be responsible to provide that GUI, graphical user interface, in order to do in order to execute queries and all. But SRE team will be responsible to use that going forward. DevOps team will be responsible for doing automation, and SRE team, site reliability engineering team, is going to be responsible to support production environment, as well as the particular tools, whatever is available. Let us say it could be Jenkins, it could be your Ansible, it could be any other customized tool. So SRE team is going to be responsible to use those tools. Now, when we talk about DevOps, so guys, DevOps is a particular bridge between developers and operation. So what is the major challenge which we have as of today? So major challenge here is, let us say there is a new product developed. So that is working in all other environments. Let us say it could be your SIT. Let me define the names as well. Like what are the different environments could be there. So first of all, it could be your development, that is known as dev environment. It could be your QA, like quality assurance environment. It could be your UAT. UAT stands for user acceptance test. It means the particular business team we were talking about, a product team. So where they are going to give a go ahead, right? So that particular environment is known as UAT environment. Right, guys? Then after, there will be another environment where like DevOps or maybe TechOps or maybe your SRE team is going to ensure that the development which is done, so whether that is going to work in a nice manner, right? So that particular environment is known as SIT. SIT stands for System Integration Test. Why it is required, guys? That is also I'm going to tell you. For example, a particular version of software is upgraded or downgraded, or maybe the particular entire application stack is changed. For example, earlier we were using like monolithic application, and now we are working with micro, right? So if that sort of structure is modified, so that testing should be done within system integration test environment. Then after, when everything is done, there will be another environment which is known as pre-prod. That is just replica of production environment, but public, or you can call it end users, do not have access to this environment. Only internal engineers will have access to it, in order to see that once the application is deployed into production environment, what is going to be behavior of it, whether it will improvise the performance of application or the product, or it will reduce the performance of that particular product, right? Finally, there is a particular environment which is known as prod, or you can call that production. Right, guys? Any questions so far? Anyone? Guys, any questions so far?
No, sir.
Logan sir, can you explain UAT and SIT again? Like what is the difference between UAT and SIT?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. So when we talk about UAT, so there is a particular team which is known as business team. So when the particular product is ready, developers have done their development. Now they are ready to showcase their work to business team, because where from the requirement came, that was business or product team. Now developers have done development. They will deploy the code. They will put the piece of software onto this environment, which is known as UAT, user acceptance test. Business team will have access to this UI, like user interface only. They will not have access to backend servers, but to this front-end environment, they will just check, look and feel like how does it look, whether the requirement which was generated, whether that is fulfilled properly or not. So business team will do their use case testing over here on UAT environment. SIT environment is dedicated for our TechOps team or our DevOps team. For example, there is a particular certificate change. That certificate could be of SSL. That certificate could be for like three-way handshake and all. We will discuss about this terminology going forward. So whether the certificate is going to work or not, once we inserted the certificate into our Java Trust Store, for example, we are talking about Java, or maybe we are talking about Nginx. So once we place a new certificate, so what is going to be behavior of it? What are the main configuration file which we need to modify? So everything will be like tested properly in SIT, System Integration Test Environment. This particular environment is dedicated for TechOps or DevOps team only. Moreover, let us say when DevOps team is like upgrading the particular software or upgrading the particular certificate in SIT environment, they will create SOP, like standard operating procedure as well. They will write a document because SIT is one environment and there could be like 20 different environment running into production, right? So once the document is ready, so TechOps team, the team which is responsible to manage production environment, this team will follow the documents prepared by DevOps team, and that team will be responsible to replicate the changes into different environment, maybe to pre-prod or maybe to production environment.
Thank you, sir.
Are we
Thank you.
clear with this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Great.
sir. Clear.
Any other question, guys? I would love to answer that.
SIT environment, there is two types of stacks. This monolithic and one more. So what is it? Can you explain shortly?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, so when we talk about like application architecture, there are two types of applications which are usually found. So first of all, the first one is monolithic. So monolithic, and second one is microservice. So monolithic and microservice. So what is monolithic? Let us say there is a website. Let me draw something for you guys. Let us say there is a website user interface. Now there are a couple of sub-segments of this. For example, there is a particular home page, right? There is a particular page which is known as product. There is another tab which is known as about us. Right? Then after there is another tab which is known as login. There is another tab which is known as, let us say, services. So what could be done? There are two things. Either we can have, let us say we are working on a Java, right? So what we can do here is either we can have a single Java jar file or war file, whatever we have. So all like these subsections like home, product, about us, login, services, product, and maybe like men, women, or maybe like electronics, mobile, or whatever, like different components could be there. So if you want, we can have a look at flipkart.com. That will help us to understand. Okay, so guys, if you see, there are some different components, like we have login page, we have become seller page, we have more section, and if you see here, so these are some different components like top offers, grocery, mobile, fashion, electronics, home. So it could be possible like Flipkart might have developed this entire website as a single service. Within a single jar file, everything is written, right? Or it could be possible, let us say the login service is not working. Like those users who are new to website, they are not able to log in, but those users who have already logged in, they can purchase any product from their websites. So what difference does that make? So that makes a difference. Like business is hampered only for the new customers, but all existing customers can purchase whatever they want, right? So if we have broken this down, like top offers is a separate service, like that is running in a separate jar file. For example, login option is working with a separate jar file. For example, cart, that is working with a separate jar file. So for example, if cart section is not working, so user will be able to browse the website, they will be able to select the product, but they shall not be able to pay for it because the particular cart or maybe the checkout service is not working right now. Right, guys? So if every single component is isolated, like home, if let us say if this particular microservice, so this is example of microservice. So if this goes down, product, about us, login, and other services will keep on working as it is. Every single microservice will have a separate database schema for itself, wherein monolithics, there will be a single database. For example, if single database goes down, then everything will stop working. So most of organizations are working are moving towards microservice architecture, because these are very lighter and very easy to lift and shift sort of environment is there. So these type of microservices are preferred these days. I hope I'm clear about this.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, not a problem. So yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
So when we are talking about this particular complex monolithic and microservice architecture, so microservices are preferred these days. Okay. Now, guys, when we are talking about DevOps, so what are the particular tools you should be aware of? So first of all, when we talk about DevOps, so where from the journey begins for a DevOps engineer? A DevOps engineer should be aware of Git. And why is that so? So guys, let us say we have a developer, or maybe we have multiple developers here, right? These developers will do development and will keep code on their local laptop. But it is of no use if a developer has all the logs or all the developed work. So if they have on their laptop, so definitely they will not be able to push the code to production environment or to different environment. Right, guys? Guys, please mute yourself if you are not speaking. That will help. Yes, thank you. Okay. So when we are talking about this particular component known as Git, so this is known as SCM. SCM stands for software, so source code management. That is known as source code management. Okay. So now, being DevOps, we should understand that why we are using this Git. So first of all, DevOps team is going to be responsible to provision access for different teams. Let us say there are QA engineers, there are developers. So DevOps team will be responsible in order to provision access for new developers, will be responsible to remove access for the particular users who are leaving the organization. Let us say developer 1 was working on product 1. Now the particular developer has moved from product 1 to product 2 within same organization. So DevOps team will be responsible to change their access from project 1 to project 2. These sort of tasks DevOps team will perform. Moreover, DevOps team will be responsible to help developers to pick a particular branching strategy, like how they should be working on it. Definitely that will be a common call. DevOps team cannot enforce, but yes, being DevOps team, these guys are going to be responsible to give their thoughts to developers, like this is going to be the better strategy in order to maintain your code onto Git. Right? So the very first tool which DevOps team should be knowing about, that is Git. Now, when code is available, so guys, why do we write code? Because we have to send this code to different environments, right? Like we have just discussed about SIT, we have discussed about QA, UAT, pre-prod, production, this sort of environment. So now guys, there will be a particular software used in order to do deployment, and that particular tool is known as Jenkins. Right, guys? So DevOps team should be very well aware of Jenkins. This is such a tool. If a DevOps engineer that does not understand Jenkins, then person is actually not a DevOps engineer. Right? What will be your job here? First of all, how to integrate Jenkins with Git? What are the protocols? How do we make it secure? How do we want to provide access to different developers on different Jenkins? Let us say we have separate Jenkins for production, we have separate Jenkins for SIT environment. Now, during interview, a person might ask you, okay, who all have access to your Git? Who all have access to your Jenkins as administrator, right? Because at the time of audits, because if you're working with a organization where different teams are, where audit keeps on going, right? So over there, we have to have segregation of roles and responsibility. Who will have access onto what? That sort of things we need to take care of. So Jenkins will be there. What DevOps team will be doing with Jenkins? So guys, DevOps team is going to be responsible for creating new pipelines, managing existing pipelines, right? If there is a modification, that will be done by DevOps team. If new code is being pushed to different environment, so DevOps team is going to be responsible to facilitate your developers, your QA engineers, and your remaining organization. If they want to do anything with Jenkins, DevOps team is going to become a facilitator in that case. If it is production, then DevOps team will take lead and will do deployment onto production environment. In case everything goes well, DevOps team will declare that the deployment is successful. If not, DevOps team is going to be responsible to roll back as well. Now, the rollback strategy has to be defined by DevOps team only, right? So that is the task which DevOps team is going to handle on the top of Jenkins, right? So we will discuss about this particular thing in really detail within coming sessions. Right now, what we are going to do here is, this is Jenkins, and after that, let us say we need to work upon like other tools as well, such as Ansible. Why Ansible, guys? What is use case of it? Let us say we have like 500 servers. Now what happens, there is a particular user or there is a particular person working in the organization, and because of like conflict of interest are there, company decides that person is not really good for organization, the person should be immediately sacked off. The person should immediately be terminated with immediate effect. Now the person has access to all the servers, person has access to all, maybe the access keys that person has and all. Maybe the person login should be disabled on immediate effect. So guys, how long will it take to remove access of a user from 500 servers? For example, if there are 8 DevOps engineers working in a team, how long will they take to remove access? And if in the meantime that person starts doing something like bad, then the person will be able to destroy the entire organization. Maybe the person can delete the particular backup server itself. The person can make any sort of mess, right? So in order to mitigate these sort of risk, so these are like negative impact, right? But when we are talking about, let us say we need to provision access on 500 servers, so obviously it is going to take long time. So these sort of automation tasks, right? So these are done with the help of Ansible. So this is known as configuration management. For example, you need to whitelist a user onto 500 servers. For example, you need to patch maybe like 100 servers with a new line of configuration, right? Maybe your existing DNS is stopped working and you need to update the DNS IP address onto 500 servers. So guys, this, if we are doing it manually, this may take days. And for for that particular period of time, we are actually not able to perform anything. The entire production or entire infrastructure will be stuck with these sort of activities that we are not able to perform. Why? Because automation tools are not there. Any questions so far, guys?
No, sir, it's fine.
Great. So when we are talking about other tools, so guys, there will be other tool which is known as containerization. Maybe we can talk about Docker container, right? So guys, when we talk about Docker, what does it mean? So when we work within an environment, so there could be 3 different type of servers. Guys, this is becoming like a little more tedious, like more complex, but definitely I will try to explain each and everything. So guys, either you will have to work on physical server, or you will have to work with virtual machine, virtual server, or you can call that virtual machine. In case of cloud computing environment, if you are aware of AWS, like EC2, you can think of, just for your understanding. So like you will have to work with EC2, you will have to work with physical server, and the final thing which is a buzz today, that is known as containers. So it could be like Tango, it could be like Zool, it could be like your Docker itself, like we can think of Docker. Okay, so based on different environments, so if it is physical server, how you are going to what sort of strategy for doing deployment, for doing like upgradation, patching and other thing, you will have to take that decision. If it is a virtual machine, how you are going to take that particular part, how will you take it forward? If it is containers, so how will you manage that thing, right? So these sort of components are going to be always there, which you will have to take care of. So we will discuss about Docker container as well, like what is Docker file, how do we write it, that sort of component. Definitely, guys, we are going to work. Now, the very next thing here, guys, any question about these 3 environments? Okay, not a problem. Someone wrote no, sir. Great. Okay, so guys, let us say we have maybe 200 containers running for a single service. right? Now what happens? There is a particular transaction which is marked as failed. Now we have 200 containers serving the same service. So guys, you get a request from maybe from like salesperson, maybe from business team, or maybe from like any XYZ person has raised a Jira ticket for you that we need to track the particular reason of this failure. We have 200 containers. So which container will you prefer to check in order to see the logs? You never know that which container is serving which like request. So guys, we need to work on centralized logging part. So we will discuss about ELK, Elasticsearch Log Station Kibana, or maybe we may discuss about Grafana as well. So Kibana and Grafana are going to be a backend, or sorry, a front end where we are going to visualize the logs. Elasticsearch is going to be centralized log manager, log collector, right? Logstash is going to be like log extractor from different machines or different containers, maybe physical, virtual, or containers. So this is going to be like responsible collecting logs from different environments, right, guys? Then after, guys, at least one of the web server, it could be your Apache or it could be your Nginx. One web server DevOps team should definitely know, like up to great extent. Why is that so? If new requirement comes that you need to set up a particular website or you need to set up a complete flow. So until and unless you guys do not understand any of the web server, maybe Apache or Nginx, then how will you be able to set up a website itself, right? So one of the web server we will definitely discuss. So in our case, we are going to discuss Apache, or maybe like based on the demand, we can discuss and like either of. Then after, one of the database tool. Let us say we are going to talk about MySQL in our case, right? So we will discuss about MySQL as well. Then after, guys, we are going to discuss about one of the monitoring tool in our case, that is going to be Prometheus, right? So we will discuss about Prometheus with Grafana. So Prometheus will work as time series database for monitoring for us, and Grafana will be user interface for this. So guys, these are the particular tools which we are going to discuss as part of this particular course. Moreover, we will discuss about EKS, like Kubernetes, EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. This will also, this thing also we are going to discuss as part of this. And if people will be aware of Terraform, then this will be complementary thing. So these components we are going to discuss as part of this particular course, right? Now, not only this, but if you are working in a real environment, so let us say a person might ask you during your interview that how do you secure your infrastructure? What sort of mechanism have you implemented in order to log into your GitHub? What type of repositories do you have? Who all have access to what repositories, right? Let us say if you say that, okay, I have, there can be a particular discussion during interview that I have 500 developers. How will you ensure to provide access on Jenkins server? Now that will be strategy. So the particular person will try to make you confused while during this particular discussion, like, will all 500 developers will have access to all 500 jobs, or will 500 developers be able to execute 500 jobs? Will they able to create new job? That sort of discussion will be there. Now, how will you ensure who has done what? Will you create 500 separate users on Jenkins interface? So that sort of questions are going to be there, right? If you talk about Ansible, so do you write Ansible playbooks every day? If yes, then what is the requirement to write Ansible playbook every day? If no, why don't you write playbooks? So if you have worked in a real environment, if you have worked on real tools, then definitely, guys, you should have answers to this, right? Do you write Docker files every day? How your Docker container is secure? Do you use public public registry in order to secure your images, or do you use private Docker registry, right? ELK, what version you are using? Is it authenticated? What authentication method you are using? Are you using Kibana or Grafana as a dashboard? What are different type of applications which are sending logs to your ELK? How many indexes do you have there? Do you upgrade your Elasticsearch? If yes, then what are the steps of it? So these sort of discussions are definitely going to take place whenever we are talking about Elasticsearch, Logstation, Kibana. So is everything working on secure channel, or is everything working on non-secure channel? That sort of thing are going to be there. If you talk about Apache, so what version of Apache you are using? Is it secure? So do you use Apache as a web server, or do you use Apache as a load balancer? If you use Apache as a web server, then what are type of like rewrite rules you have implemented there? Definitely, what are the modules have you integrated? How will you enable SSL with Apache, right? What additional softwares are required to install Apache, right? So these sort of components are going to be there, and definitely, guys, we are going to discuss a lot more about this. So I guess I make sense here, right, guys? Do you have any questions so far about this?
Sir, MySQL is a database.
Yes, MySQL is a database engine. I would not say it is a database. I would call it MySQL is a database engine. Because databases we create inside MySQL database engine. Yes. Any other question?
I do have a question.
Yeah,
so basically, for the scenario-based questions that you made mention of, like how many years of experience are we looking at?
Okay, so after completion of this particular session, so I'll be categorizing the same session for every sort of audience, because I know that that is my job, right? So you can define that you have been working as a DevOps engineer for last 7 years. Up to 7 years, you can easily showcase. Reason being, when we will be discussing these things, I'll be telling you the depth. For example, just let me pick a particular single tool and let me divide the particular roles and responsibilities. For example, you are working on maybe Git, right? So what is going to be task of a particular administrator who is very beginner? So like assign/remove access. This is going to be task of beginner. Mute yourself, Rubina. Okay, I have done that. So assigning and removing access, creation and deletion of repo, right? Then after, if a new project is there, creating project. So these sort of tasks are going to be for a beginner. But if you have 3 to 6 years of experience, then you will be involved in some different activities on Git itself, like such as resolving conflict, then after you will be responsible to design like branching strategy, right? Then after you will be responsible for doing automation and ensuring that every single automation is committed into Git, like managing DevOps repositories. So these sort of tasks will be there. Not only these are just for sample, right? Maybe that particular person will be enabling webhook, adding additional plugins, integration with third-party software. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Integration with third parties. Right, guys? So these sort of tasks will be performed by a particular person who is working as a senior DevOps engineer, right? So if you are a beginner, you can explain only basic things like I'm supposed to add or remove a user access. I'm supposed to create or delete repos, right? Creating projects, assigning access on individual repositories, changing their access rights, maybe from like reader to writer, writer to reader, that sort of access access management I do. But yes, if you are going to showcase that you are working as a senior person, maybe 3 to 6 year experience you would like to show, then resolving conflicts, managing branching strategy, doing automation for DevOps, enabling webhooks, additional plugin like adding additional plugins, integration third-party softwares. For example, you want that whenever there is a activity going to happen on your GitHub or maybe any of the repos, so you would like to get a message on Slack, or maybe you would like to see a message related to that particular commit which has happened or the particular activity which has taken place on your Git. So you want to be notified on maybe your you can say your Microsoft Teams or something, like any sort of software you can think of, and you would like to be part of that, right? So that sort of plugin addition, modification, notification enabling, doing automation, auto job trigger, that sort of thing you will have to take care of by being senior DevOps engineer. Yes. So I hope that I make my point clear. So we will be discussing about up to this level. So that will be up to your level of experience, like what do you want to get, what do you want to explain. But yes, guys, I will try to ensure that up to 5 to 7 years of experience you guys will have. This will be additional advantage for those guys who are beginner and they would like to showcase that yes, they are working as a DevOps engineer. Having additional knowledge is always a plus, right? And if you are explaining up to your level, then that is always expected. The basic prerequisite for attending this session here is a person should be having at least basic knowledge about these tools which we have discussed, like Git, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, ELK, Apache, MySQL, Prometheus, Grafana, or EKS, Terraform. So a person should be having a basic knowledge. So why do I say at least basic knowledge is required? Because if we are discussing about Jenkins, we are discussing about we are discussing about jobs, we are discussing about pipelines, we are going to discuss about descripted or scripted pipeline, declarative or scripted pipeline. So person should be able to understand. If we say that we are going to write a particular pipeline on GitHub, on Jenkins itself, or we are going to pull the pipeline file from source code management tool. So how does that make a difference? Basic knowledge should be there. If you do not know the use cases, you do not know, I'm there to explain. So I hope I make my point clear, guys. Do you have any questions so far?
Lakita, this is Emmanuel.
Hi, Emmanuel.
See, I mean, very basic knowledge I have on, maybe a little bit of Git and Jenkins, but okay, and containers. But then ELK, Prometheus, Grafana, or I mean, these and all, I have hardly any knowledge. I'm just wondering, if I will be able to, catch up with. So, I mean, if you can maybe explain it to my level, maybe then I can.
Yes. So what we are going to do here is, so let us say, if you are actually planning in order to become a DevOps engineer, so this session is definitely going to help you out. And how is that going to be? So when we will be discussing in order to prepare for the interview. So guys, definitely we are going to cover all the aspects. Like whenever, let us say you are planning to explore like Prometheus and Grafana, right? So you will have an idea like in which particular direction you need to go for. You will have a proper clear direction that what you need to study and what you need to skip. Because in order to become successful, it is not necessary that how much you are reading, but whatever you are reading, how important is that? Reading 100 books will not help you to become knowledgeable. But out of those 100 books, if you study 20 only, and these are of really full of knowledge, that will help actually. Because this session is going to really help you out in that way that you will be able to utilize most of your time while studying only the major components, which are basically required in order to become, or in order to switch your profile from Linux administrator, from network administrator to DevOps. I hope I make my point clear.
Yeah, I mean, basically I'm a Linux admin, but I wanted to switch over to, like a person setting up those environment for DevOps engineer.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Manish, sir, any feedback for the session? Manish Nanwal, sir, any feedback for the session?
Yeah, it's a good and knowledgeable session, Loken. So means I learned lots of things in this session. So hope everyone does same.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. So guys, any feedback for the session?
Sir, I want to ask one thing. Sir, is this Python or shell scripting is necessary for DevOps?
See, Pankaj, there are two things. Automation is necessary for DevOps, for becoming a DevOps engineer. How do you do that? That is your call. But I'll suggest one thing. For example, if you do not understand bash scripting as well as Python, so I'll suggest personally to go for Python itself. Why is that so? The particular logics which you write in your bash shell, right? So these logics, these functions are already written in Python. You just need to import a module and you are done with it. So you will have to write maybe like 100 line of shell script in order to do the same thing, which you can achieve with maybe 10 or 15 lines within Python. Moreover, you will have to spend almost equal time to learn shell script as well as Python. So it is better to go for such a tool which is popular and which has more demand in the market.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, someone asked me like difference between var and jar. So guys, any idea about like what is jar and what is var file? Any idea about like what is the difference between jar, WAR, NAR, EAR? These are extensions of Java. Like Web Archive or Java Archive, these are known as.
Let me try.
Yeah, please go ahead. Voila.
So for the Java files, they are standalone Java application.
Okay.
So for the WAV files, they are basically Java plus I can't remember the second one right now.
Not a problem. not a problem, but I liked it. At least you tried. Okay, so let me tell you. So both are Java-based files. So these are known as Java Web Archive or Java Archive, right? So that will be depending on the particular type of extension you are going to define as like explicit or implicit your what do I call modules which you are going to import inside that. So that is something. So guys, both are like Java extensions, right? If I talk about duration, so it is going to be 1.5 months, and the timing is going to remain same 8 to 9:30. Usually we are going to like do sessions at this particular timing, right? Classes will be 4 to 5 days in a week because I'm also working professional. So sometimes it happens that I may be involved in my office activities or in early morning, right? Like that way. So guys, any feedback for the session I would like to hear? How did you find this session?
Good morning, sir. Vaibhav here.
Yeah.
Sir. Yeah, sir. Sir, how are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well, sir. Thank you so much. So actually, I'm following you long back since 1 to 2 years back.
Okay.
I'm working as network admin with Tata Communications Limited, Pune location.
Okay.
So I following you last 2 years, and as a network admin, I don't have much look into that topics like DevOps and Linux and all. Basically, I'm a core network admin. So I dealing with hardware activity just like a vendor Cisco, Juniper, Huawei, and this firewalls. But I'm not too much looking into those topics. But once following you, I love into DevOps. And since last 2 years back, I'm reading daily. I'm watching your videos, and I feel to talk with you once day. And that day comes today.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for kind words.
And I feel so happy because I'm following you 2 years back freely. Okay, no money and nothing for that. And I love into DevOps and this technologies, which is hottest nowadays and in future also.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm happy, and yeah, and I hope you are delivering that you delivered last 2 years. So nowadays onwards for all of us, it will help to move on better path and for better career.
Yeah,
And as well as
and
yeah.
one more thing, guys, I would like to communicate here within this forum. So, guys, I'll be helping you with resume preparation. I will help you with your profiling update. That sort of thing. Definitely, I'm going to help.
Yeah, yes, sir. That is you are doing well. So
And guys,
we have
someone is asking here that I'm from arts background. So let me tell you guys, even I am also from arts background. I have done only BA, Bachelor of Arts.
oh my God, that's really fantastic, sir. We don't know that thing even.
I'm not an
I thought
engineer,
you.
but I'm not engineer by degree, but yes, I'm an engineer by profession. So degree
That's
does
great.
not make a difference.
Yes,
It's
really.
just an entry point.
Lokendra, I'm actually a BSc Zoology.
What did you say, Emmanuel?
No, I'm a BSc in Zoology. Yes, I meant.
Oh,
Yes, geology.
great, great. So like we have variety of people over here, like people coming from different backgrounds, right? That actually fantastic.
So, sir,
So I hope that, guys, let's call it a day. Let's get connected tomorrow, and we are going to begin with infrastructure architecture. Like, how does infrastructure? So Eric, I guess there is a certain problem with your mic. You need to check, buddy, your mic. Eric. So any other feedback for the session, guys? And yes,
Hey,
guys,
Jan, I got a
going
question.
forward,
My
we are going to do
question
one more
was,
thing. Yeah, yes, Eric, please go ahead.
yeah, I put a chat, a question in the chat. Like, you only talk about Git, but then again, Git is just a versioning tool. So, are you going to teach the repo that is GitLab and GitHub?
So we will be discussing about GitHub, like how do we manage GitHub being DevOps engineer.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I see you only put Git. That's why I'm asking. Thank you.
No. See, like we will be talking about backend concept, like how do we initiate MP repository, how do we create repository, that sort of thing. Definitely, we are going to cover here.
So, Prince Eric, are you a Nigerian?
No, my brother, I'm not a Nigerian.
You speak like me. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Thank you, but I'm from Ghana, so that's fine. We brothers.
Sir, Sandesh here.
Yeah. Yes,
I have one question. Yeah. So there are different, I think, DevOps and test and environment are there. Then DevOps is there. So each and every environment we create different VPC or same VPC.
You are talking VPC, right?
Right.
Okay, so when we will discussing about cloud computing environment, so I'll be telling you like how do we design our VPCs. So yes, Sandesh, just to answer your question in a nutshell, so there should be different VPCs, like different network segments should be there. Production should be quite separate. There should be no connectivity between prod and other environments, right? But if there is any explicit requirement to open a connection between like dev and prod, that should be approved from like governing authorities of that organization.
Okay.
Like all non-production environment like SIT, UAT, UA, QA, like any sort of environment, these could be in a single VPC, but production should be a part of different VPC.
Okay, that will be helpful.
Yeah, I will definitely explain, because tomorrow onwards we are going to discuss like infrastructure architecture only. First of all, we will see like how does 3-layer architecture work. After that, we will discuss about individual components. Like we will discuss about monitoring, we will discuss about security, we will discuss about DNS, the different type of records of DNS, why it is required to transport your data over TLS layer only, right? Why it is important to implement SSL certificates, at what layer do we implement SSL certificates, right? So that sort of thing for sure we are going to discuss. Right,
okay,
guys?
sir. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so let's call it a day here only. If you have any feedback, so please do share with me, and hope to see you tomorrow.
Sir, this all session will be recorded, right?
Every single session will be recorded. Today's and tomorrow's session will be published and will be shared to you via YouTube, right? And the session from Monday onwards will be shared with registered candidates only.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much for your time, and have a good time ahead. Have see you
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
same
Bye,
time,
sir.
right? 8 a.m.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.